What's up, guys? We're on our way to Rad Industries. Got my camera crew right here. We're gonna do our first installment of Supraculture shop tours. Hope you guys enjoy. All right, we're here.
What's up, guys? Rad Dan here, and we're at Rad Industries, and so we're going to give you a little shop tour for the Supraculture YouTube channel. So right here is our front room. It's kind of where you would come in and check out, like, I guess, or maybe wait to go check out your car if you had your car here in the shop, or if you're just going to buy a part from us or pick something up, or you wanted to play with this sequential transmission, kind of cool. This is a display model, and you can see how they work. And then this is in here is Renee and my office. Take a look at it. This is where all the homework stuff happens. But what you guys are really interested in is the race cars and the other part of the shop where we build the race cars. So follow me. So you got two ropes, so if you're gonna, rope climb, you can race your buddy. Keep us young, You guys know that we're really into Supras, so we got a couple more core Supras in here. And then, if you didn't want to focus on one of those right now, we could keep moving into the shop and see some other projects we have. This is a 350Z that we work on for a customer that does pro-am drifting. It has supercharged LS in it, and behind the motor it has a not a sequential but a dog box, GSR dog box to handle all the horsepower. It's making 700 something at the wheel. And then right now he came in for us to do a rear radiator setup, so we're kind of underway with that. So among race cars, we still work on street cars. Over here we have the RX-8 that we did the right motor swap into. Nice. So it has just a non-VVTi 2J with still the stock twins on there, but it's a pretty cool setup for a street car. And then if we kept moving this way, this is where we do all the fab work in this side of the shop. Here's another LS swap Z. It's kind of a popular thing to do. This one's still under construction. We did the swap for him. We used the Sticky mount kit for this one. Then you can get the oil pan that utilizes a couple more quarts of oil, and then there's I don't know if the camera can fit in there, but they make some pretty nice billet pieces. Check out the motor mount. And it actually makes it really simple to do the swap, and they also have headers that optional if you want to buy those. We did do that. And then right now we're doing a roll cage in it, so you come around here. The car came with full interior, so we gutted it, and then it had this cage done already previously, and we're just adding the front. So we began the front work, we stopped for the weekend, but we'll have that done probably into next week, and door bars, everything. So he says it's going to be a track car, but still think he might take it on the street occasionally, but that's his choice. But then for a race shop to be able to build all these tube fronts and then the roll cages, you need a tube bender. So this is what your average tube bender looks like. Well, I guess some are manual powered, that's hydraulic powered one. Then we have like our other power tools, grinder, bandsaw, welders, Miller welders, and then this big table here is kind of where you work when you're going to welding or cooling exhaust or something. Lab table. All right, so out here we usually roll a couple cars out, and during the day to give us space to work on stuff. So just kind of storage back here. We have this container. Renee's Supra just got a bath, so it's out here. But for the most part, there's just storage back there. We do have one of our customers here. Might as well let him, say a couple things about his car. So he has the E92 BMW. You want to be in this one, Jeff? Come on, Jeff. Okay, this is Jeff Draw.
How you doing?
He does drifting, and he's a stunt man.
Cool.
So he does stunt practice, and then he's under construction here with LSX block and this guy.
Yeah.
And it's a stroked.
No, it's a stock stroke. Slightly bored, just 10 over to hone the cylinder a little bit, and then high compression. So NA, and when he dynoed it, it's like around the motor made I think like 680. So hopefully with the right intake, we'll be somewhere around there at the wheels. So
Nice.
it's a first ever U.S. built true M3 chassis with an LSX swap. So
There you go.
it's a pretty cool build. We have a lot of good stuff going forward with it, and Dan's killing it.
Nice.
So, if you guys want to check out this car a little bit more,
Yeah.
let me just set these. Is it okay to set it here?
Yeah, absolutely.
So these are like plastic fenders, so that's pretty cool for a race car for lightweight. You can probably still bump it a little bit,
Yeah.
and it won't shatter.
Little flex.
They're really light though. It's kind of dark over here, but we just did like the floor mount pedal install for him, and then his has a dog box in there. See all the modifications for you gotta do with like sheet metal and stuff. We
Yeah.
made it removable so that if you need to get to the trans easier to get it out, those panels are removable. And then he also has a rear radiator set up.
You guys did this?
Yeah. So then, like, moving further into the shop, this would be where we would build hoses for fuel lines, coolant lines, or oil lines. But we use a lot of AN stuff, and very rarely do we use any of the, just like the push-on or like the rubber hoses, because it's mostly race car stuff. It needs to be durable and withstand the heat. So that was kind of where the different areas of the shop are. Oh, we could check out some of this stuff over here. This kind of stuff only happens in the off season, and right now it's off season for Formula Drift. So myself and a couple of my friends, like Chris Forsberg, will have me do some work for him. So this is a quick change rear end, and it comes into multiple parts like this. And the reason it's called a quick change is because you can take the gears and switch these out for your final drive in the back here. Like, it probably takes you about 4 minutes if you're really quick at it, and you can change from any ratio basically that you would ever want, from as low as like a 0.9 up to like a 7.5 or 8.5 or something like that, depending what kind of racing you're doing. So for drifting, it helps so you have the right torque and power when you're at different tracks, and that's something that, but they do have like weak links. So on this one, I don't know if you'll be able to see it with a camera, but if you're looking down it this way, you can see spiral marks where it's twisted.
Yeah, I see it.
You can see it with like the human eye. I think you should be able to see it with a camera. So that's how much grip he's putting down, that he twisted this shaft in there. So then you take them apart all the way down to nothing, kind of what you see, and then you inspect the parts, bearings and stuff, and then you rebuild it and re-shim it for spec. So that's what I was doing last week. And then I was also doing the same thing with the sequential transmission, which is kind of this pieced apart here. It's a Samsonas, and then we look in this box here. This is like the remaining pieces of it. Kind of crazy that we're taking these apart these days. I never thought I would have been doing that, but it's something you got to learn. You know, when you're racing and you can't pay someone else to do it, you got to figure it out. So that's that area. And then now we made it back over here to the Supras again. This is Frederick Oswald's old Supra. that he was driving, and now Ola Jaeger drives it. And Ola's been putting a lot of money and parts into it this season. He changed over to this bigger BorgWarner EFR turbo. From last year, he had a Garrett 35, so he's going to try and gain 100 horsepower and better spool with that one. And he's doing a fuel cell. He did better fans. He's just trying to make it more up-to-date and reliable. At the same time, make more horsepower for Pro 2 Series this year. Alright, so here's the comp Supra, but first, let's go into this room. Right now we have a lot of extra stuff in here. We don't normally have our toolboxes in here, but we have the shop wide open today for you guys to get this tour. So these are in here. Normally what we do in here is like rebuild the motor if we're doing that, or work on stuff with the motor on the stand. And then you can also see there's a lot of parts in here, so it's kind of storage for when you take the race car apart. You stack it on a shelf. Like this is stuff off my car, where the shelf will be empty the rest of the year. And then some of that stuff off my car, or miscellaneous Supra or JZ stuff. And then over there is just extra stuff we have for customer cars or stock of stuff. But for the most part, it's just, we call it the parts room, or if you're gonna build a motor, it could be the clean room, but we don't really build that many motors here. We outsource that machine work. So coming back to the comp car, it's pretty much taken apart right now down to nothing because we are in the process of doing an off-season refresh. But one of the things I was going to tell you about is back here. We are going to be using a fuel-safe fuel cell this year, so cut that little cage out that's down in there that holds the old cell, and then we'll build a new one. So we're waiting for that to come in, then we can build the cage for that support piece, make a new fuel fill, and then put the radiator in and do some rear ducting work so that the air can exit out without dumping hot air onto, the air would exit out through this hole here without dumping hot air onto the fuel cell. We had an existing setup, but with the drift car you're going to bump the wall a lot and then you bend it, and so I gotta, it's the off season, it's time to, make fresh new stuff. Another cool thing about my Supra is this wide body kit that me and Chance custom designed and then had molds made of it. And so this year we just started offering it for sale to other race cars, and it's pretty cool how flexy it is. There will be a bottom support, so that this part down here wouldn't move, but it's just cool that it's that flexy. So you can kind of bump and maybe, hopefully not just crack it in half. If you just kind of bump the wall, it'll fold in a little bit. And then the whole kit is like that, but that would be one of the more flexy areas. This you won't see as much. The doors, these are HGK doors. Those are really flexy too. So all around, it's good for bumping while racing a little bit. And then the rest of the stuff is just waiting on parts. So I have a motor ready to go back in, but I need a new exhaust manifold, and I need a couple pieces for my transmission and new wastegates. So we're waiting on a couple things before we can start the reassembly. But that's it for the shop. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, ask Andrew and he will let you know the answers. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Alright, see you guys.